You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton, hanging out with you guys today. Hopefully, you're having a great day, a great weekend, whenever you guys are listening to this episode. As you guys know, we like to mix it up. Sometimes we do solo episodes, and sometimes we do guest interviews. And today, we have a great guest interview today with Colin and Josh. They're with C&J Outdoor Services, joining us all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. How's things in your guys' neck of the woods?
It's pretty good up here. We're just getting into it, just getting in the grass, getting into all the spring cleanups and everything, just getting there with them, and then going straight into summertime.
Absolutely. Are you guys already mowing and laying stripes and grass growing like crazy, or what's the weather like over in Philly?
It was growing pretty good, and then we got into this whole 2.5 week drought that we've been in, and we've been cutting dust for the past 2 weeks now. It's finally rained for like 3 days, so it should be good now.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome, man. We had the exact same thing happen. We were like mowing grass like crazy, spring rush, grass starts going to seed, and then all of a sudden it was like 90 degrees for a couple of days, just like high 80s, and everything just burned out, dried out, and of course nobody turns their sprinklers on just yet, right? So I said, hey, if I sent an email to all my customers, turn on your water this weekend, and probably like 10% of them did, but then we got about 2 to 3 inches of rain this last week, like every other day. So I think we get it, and then that rain goes right over to you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it just comes right across the United States and comes and hits us. And right now, thank God it hit us during the weekend. So it's a little slow, but we got all of our mowing done this week, so we can't complain about that. We just had to rush a little bit, push everything ahead.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if it rains, on the weekends. Like I mow Monday through Friday, and then it mows on the weekends. But then again, my heart goes out to all of you guys listening in that are my weekend warrior friends that, work your jobs during the week. And then, you get your side hustle, which is always fun. And, you guys get the rain on the weekend. That's awful. You guys would probably rather have it rain during the week, right? So we're all dodging raindrops trying to make it happen. But hey, let's do this really quick. Why don't you guys go into like just a quick minute of like highlight reel of your story, and then we're going to hear from today's show sponsors, and we're going to come right on back and hear a little bit more about your story. But you guys are over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, two young guns making it happen. You guys are in business together, and maybe just get these guys up to speed if they've never heard your story.
We were both working for a friend starting to get his business off the ground, and we realized that it was fun and great working with your friends, but we wanted more out of it. And we were Josh was still learning. I had experience in it, so I was like, let's try and see what we can do. And we got together in December of 2019 and started getting everything planned out and ideas flowing, and then went full force like the first week of March, and then COVID hit as soon as we started advertising, and the work slowed really fast. And it was like, went from like a couple jobs popping up to nothing for the first couple of weeks. And we were like, kind of hit the brakes and weren't sure really what we were going to do, but we just kept going. I told Josh, I'm like, we had jobs, so we didn't jump right into it. We had jobs, so I'm like, we still have our jobs, and we'll figure it out. We'll do it nights and weekends, and whatever comes up, we'll just figure it out as it goes. And then like the last week of April, it picked up, and we were busy for the whole year, nights and weekends. I mean, cutting grass every night till 9 o'clock at night,
right?
And working till 9 o'clock at night, and then still doing all the business stuff at the end of it. Oh
yeah. Wow. Okay. And how old are you guys again? You said 20 or 21?
Yeah, I'm 21 and Josh is 22.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, we're going to hear from Josh and Colin here over the next few minutes. And I love doing these guest interviews. And somebody said, I love the guest interviews because it's always cool hearing people's startup stories. And they always get one nugget like out of every episode, even if our startup stories are all pretty similar, in some aspect where, we wanted a better way and a better life. And whether you're, 19 or you're 30 and trying to figure it out. But it's always fun to just, glean a little bit of insight from folks that are, growing their company. They're in the hunt. And so I'm excited to do a little interview with you guys here and hear a little bit more about your guys' story with C&J Outdoor Services. So let's do this really quick. We're going to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL, hear from today's show sponsors, and then we're going to come right on back.
Hey gang, it's Marty. Let's talk about how smart Wi-Fi enabled irrigation controllers help improve life. They make system management easier, help homeowners save water, and nowadays more and more customers are wanting remote smart control, meaning it's a good way to continue growing your business. Site One Landscape Supply has a new trade-in special from now right on through June the 30th, where if you bring in any old irrigation controllers to your local Site One branch, you'll receive a 15% discount on a smart Wi-Fi enabled residential irrigation controller from Rainbird, Hunter, or Irritrol. As a part of the Upgrade, Save, Recycle Controller Upgrade program, Site One is partnering with Blue Star Recyclers, a nonprofit dedicated to creating jobs for people with disabilities and keeping electronics out of landfills. Great work. This trade-in special is a fantastic upgrade for your customers, a better upsell for you, and an opportunity to support a nonprofit that is doing impactful work. Visit siteone.com/upgrade and save to see the full list of qualifying controllers, and I'll make sure that link is in the show description.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, let's just jump right back into it. Colin or Josh, I'll let one of you guys decide if you want to take it away. But let's go back again to those formative years. So you had said that you were working for somebody else, or maybe another friend or family friend. Were you guys kind of already cutting grass, or how did you get started in the industry, and how did you know you wanted to own the business versus just be an employee for somebody else in the industry?
We'll do both of ours. I'll go first, and I can tell Josh can tell his background.
Sure.
I started working when I was probably 13. My dad owned a landscape, hardscape snowplow company. Started working for him. It was either, play sports or get a job, and I did both. So I worked started learning, started out as a grunt guy, pushing the wheelbarrows and running the blower and weed whacking, and then started getting into running machines, running jobs for him, doing that kind of stuff. And then his business started to fizzle out. He wanted to get out of it. Wasn't really what he wanted to do anymore.
Okay.
So he got out of a lot of time in machines, a lot of time in plow trucks, a lot of time doing walls and pavers. That's really what I like to do. And I did some time cutting grass. And then as I graduated from school, I worked for a couple companies, and my friend approached us that he was trying to get his company off the ground. And I was like, yeah, I'll absolutely help you. Like, I knew some of the back end business stuff that could help him, like selling jobs and figuring out scheduling, like that kind of stuff that I did with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I did to help him. And me and Josh and him were all good friends. We all worked together at our place that we were working at the time. So we were all good friends, went to school together and everything like that. So we decided, I said, I'll help you for this year, get everything situated and give you somebody who has some kind of different perspective of it than just the first year trying to figure it out. Try to stop some of them growing pains. And it worked out good. He's doing really well for himself right now. He's still working a job, but he's at the point where he's pretty close that he's going to just leave and go full time for himself too.
Okay. And so did you decide you didn't want to work with him? Was there like a falling out, or did you just realize like there was only so much opportunity here and you wanted to run your own thing? No right or wrong answer, of course.
There was opportunity there. It was just there was a lot of differences in like the way he wanted to do things and the way I always was accustomed to doing things, and I tried to explain to him the ways I did things, and weren't eye to eye. And we still work together to this day.
Yeah.
We still do a lot of jobs. Like, every time he does a paver job or a hardscaping job, he calls me. We come out and help him out do it.
Nice.
But it was at the point where it was something different that I needed to. I wanted to do it for myself because I had the ambition and the drive, and I was running for him, and I just wanted to see what I could get with myself. I knew I could always go back if I needed to. I would always go back and help him.
Sure.
We just wanted to see it by ourselves. And me and Josh talked about it, and we thought about doing it by ourselves, like all three of us having our own company, working together. But I figured me and Josh go a lot further together than separate. Yeah.
So how do you know Josh? Were you guys like high school buddies? Because you guys are a little bit younger, 21, 22. Do you guys know each other from high school or college or football, or how does that work out?
We had mutual friends that we ended up meeting. I actually was doing a couple side jobs with my dad and looking for guys to work, and I posted something on Facebook asking a couple of my friends, and they're like, oh yeah, I got somebody, and Josh came to work with us a couple times, and then we just kept in touch after that, and then started working together with our one friend, and then that's kind of how it really came together.
Okay. So Josh, what's your story, young man?
Yeah, so basically I came out of college. I went to Ohio Technical College to become a diesel mechanic, and I needed some extra money, and our friend approached me, and he said, listen, dude, I know you don't know any landscaping or anything like that, but I'll teach you. Just come out, work for me, and then we'll go from there and see what we can do. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I know you've never been on a mower. He goes, I know you push mowed before, but he goes, that's about it. You cut your own grass and everything. He goes, but I'll really show you how to run a zero turn, how to run a weed whacker, blower, all trimmers, everything.
Okay.
I was like, okay. So we went out there and started doing it, and I realized, wow, this is cool. I really like the way it turns out. I love laying stripes on a mower. I love looking at a mulch job at the end of the day and going, wow, look at that. That's an incredible. It's just change in the house and the atmosphere of it, and it was just something that I like to do. And then we were all talking one day, and we were like, hey, listen, like why don't all three of us start a company, and all three of us, help each other and kind of run like a big company together. And then our buddy actually really wasn't too about it. He was kind of more or less, he wanted to do it himself. He just wanted us to work for him. And when Colin approached me, we were sitting in my attic playing pool, and he said to me, he goes, yo, man, why don't we try this? Like, with my experience and the drive that you have, we could get it done.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? Let's do it, dude. Like, let's do it. So we started advertising and everything, and it just took off.
That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. So you guys are 21, 22, just trailblazing out there in the suburbs of Philly, cutting the grass and making that cash, as our friend Paul says on the Green Industry podcast. And so you guys have what you said. This is your second full-time season together, or where are you guys at in the business, and what's your current customer base look like?
So we started last year. We were trying to just we still don't have it as good as we'd like any kind of route that's here or anything. Like, we have a decently. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of times we have a 30-minute drive from one site where we start at to the next neighborhood that we're in.
Sure.
But we started taking on anybody who was willing to give us a shot. Any job that was willing, didn't matter what it was. If we had any kind of idea of how to do it, we would do research and figure out if we could do it, and we would take it and try and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we did a lot of things outside of landscaping. Like, our first job of the year, we built a batting cage for somebody in their backyard. We did a whole 6x6 timbered out and stoned it and everything like that, and built a batting cage in his backyard.
Wow, that's awesome.
So anything that we could get last year, really, to get the money to continue to come into, we could do it. Like, we started out borrowing a mower, like a rider. We had one that was broken down that we bought off my dad, and we couldn't get it fixed, and nobody wanted to fix it, and we just didn't have the time to get it dropped off to get fixed. And we were borrowing a mower, and then finally we were just found a deal on one, and we were like, let's buy a reliable one.
Yeah.
So we had the grass cutting to do it, and we were just like, let's buy a used one. And we still don't buy new mowers. We're not there yet.
Right.
We're still buying old mowers that, will last you a couple of years and then go into the next one.
What was it like when you guys were just getting started? Because you guys, shook hands. Hey, we're partners. We're in business together, and we'll go into a little bit of maybe how you guys are forming this thing. But you said this was maybe February, March. You guys were about to go into the season, and then COVID hit. For us, like you guys were alluding to earlier, the phone didn't ring for 8 weeks, right? We were all freaking out, slashing budgets, and just taking it on the chin and we were all figuring this thing out at the same time last year. Were you guys, off to the races yet? Did you guys get shut down? What was that first, what was spring last year like for you guys with your brand new, partnership? How did that go?
So, we were allowed to cut grass still. None of that ever got shut down for us out here in Pennsylvania, at least.
Okay.
We weren't really to do new construction. We were only supposed to do home improvements. We weren't really supposed to do any new construction.
Gotcha.
So technically, there was a gray area. Technically, mulch was not new construction to a lot of the guys out here. And we did a little bit of that. And we made our way in. Working weekends helped a lot because nobody's really out checking what you're doing on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So we did do a little bit of new construction and stuff, but we just had to. It was one of the things where it was we'll figure out the problem if it becomes a problem, if they come and stop us for working. We can't not work.
Right.
It started to take off, and once it started to take off, it was we can't sit here for as long as they're gonna wait around for us and tell us when we can and can't work. We just got to do it. We'll figure it out later.
Amen. I like that hustle. Yeah, I'm not going to give professional advice out there and tell you guys to do what they did, but I'll tell you what, that's what I would have done, and that's what I'm going to do next time if they try to pull this over us. Because, dude, we were shut down for 8 weeks. I was just burning cash. We lost out on 20 G's, and I'm like, this is this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And we were, a governor called us low income workers. And now everybody's like, touching gas pumps and, putting 300 people on an airplane. I just was flying over the weekend to Iowa to hang out with Corey Ballard. And, there's 200 friggin' people on this airplane sitting next to each other, all strangers, all different households, but yet, any which way. You guys know how I feel on all that stuff. But if they try to pull that again, that's never happening with my company. I'll be in jail, and I'm sure the lawn care community would post bail for me. So that's how we'll do it, right? But so kudos to you guys for hustling and figuring it out. Well, let me ask you guys this: how did you guys hear about our content? Did you guys watch the YouTube videos or the podcast, or how did you guys discover all of our content and decide to even get in the industry?
So I've been on the YouTube and I've been on the podcast since they started. I've heard every episode. I've been on the YouTube for probably 2.5 years. And I actually showed Josh and my other friend that we were talking about your stuff on there. And Josh has really taken to it and watched the podcast, listened to the podcast and watched the YouTube videos. And my other friends listen to them now and then. But me and Josh have really embraced it once we started listening to the podcast. That's how we get through our day cutting grass and doing all that stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys were saying before we hit record, you guys really enjoy listening to Corey Ballard, that was a gentleman I was hanging out with over the weekend. He owns a company called Perfect Cut in Iowa, a $20 million grossing company per year. It's super impressive outfit. And you guys were saying that a couple of those Corey Ballard episodes really turned you guys on to making that decision to go full time. So why is that? Or what did Corey say that made you guys really look at this as an actual business and not just this like side hustle hobby?
So I don't know if it was really more of the full time, but really the embracing the partnership aspect of it. Like I know there was an episode where he talked about his partner Matt. Yep. And that really embraced into the whole partnership of us figuring out a lot of growing pains. Because last year we were really we do snow plow and everything like that. And last year we were just running red line like everybody. We were both doing everything, no matter what it was: mower maintenance, like filling, talking to customers, selling jobs, everything, doing the work all together. Like both of us were doing everything. Like there was no real roles or responsibilities, and there was no real accountability to who was responsible for what. So and that really went into this winter too. Like we ended up getting into, not to go too fast, but we got into a couple of commercial snow contracts that we were thinking about doing, and none of the equipment wasn't really there. Like we didn't really have the equipment together. We had a truck and a Z-box and a plow and a skid steer, and we were like, these are some big industrial complexes, and we're like, we can try and figure it out, or we can just wait until we have the equipment 100%. And we just decided, I told Josh, I'm like, we'll figure it out. Let's just get this deal done, get the stuff signed, and then the money will come if it does snow. We'll figure it out when it snows. We'll get to that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love casting off the ropes, man, and just setting sail. Even if you can't see the shore from the other side of where your destination is, man. Just having that faith to take your ship, go into deep water, man, and try to cross the ocean there. How was your guys' first winter together with doing all that work in the snow accounts? Did you rent some equipment, borrow some equipment? Was it a fiasco? I mean, no right or wrong answer. I mean, I've made more mistakes and messed more things up than anybody listening. I promise you that. So if you guys want to be successful, you don't always have to succeed. You just got to fail your way forward, and that's how you become successful, in my opinion. And that's what a lot of people have realized along the way. So what did you guys do? Did you guys just Forrest Gump your way through the first winter, or how did that all go?
So Josh had worked with me and my dad plowing a couple of times. Like I said, I've been in the snow since I was 13. I've been out when I started shoveling, I started running equipment, then started the truck before I even got my license.
Nice.
And then, we had a couple equipment. We had an extra truck that needed some work, and we had my regular truck that I drove every day for work, and then we had a skid steer. And then we had our friend that we worked with he had bought a plow a couple of years back for the company he was working with as a sub, so we used him as a sub. And then by the end of the season, we ended up getting Josh's dad has a 3/4 ton truck. We threw a plow on that, subbed him out to get through the year. Because we had a couple other things, we have the remnants of what my dad had as equipment that we were kind of just into if we wanted it, we could fix it and use it at our disposal. And it was just last year we were on a budget of no money at all extra. So it was no money to fix trucks, no money to do any of that stuff until we got the first snowstorm. So it was either I told Josh, hey, we could either wait until next year, continue to save money, and it may be 3 or 4 years before we get that point where we're at the capacity that we want to be at to handle that kind of stuff. Just sub our way out. You know, I mean, we pay pretty good money for subs around here. They get really good money to bring their own equipment out and use their equipment. You know, we're not paying for it when it breaks. We're not paying for their fuel. We're only paying for their time. And I mean, use their equipment to get our equipment to where we need to be. And we really embraced that this year. Like, Josh wasn't really 100% on board. And I'm sure he'll tell you exactly what his thoughts were on that. He wasn't really. And I said, dude, just try it. And if it doesn't work out this winter and we get beat, I'll be the first one to tell you I was wrong. And we'll see where it goes, and we'll figure it out after that. So I'm sure
I love it.
On a little bit.
Well, if we had like the police interview, you know, or like if you get in trouble with your buddy, they pull you aside and they get like the two different stories and see the different variables, and that's how they like, you know, have you guys rat on each other, you know. So we get a separate podcast here with Josh. Josh, well, give us the real story, you know. Was Colin crazy, you know? And I'm just having fun. But Josh, what was your perspective with this? You know, just burn the boats and you know, let's just go for it. What were you thinking with Colin there and running the whole ship and trying to grow this thing through winter? What were you guys thinking?
So when Colin first approached me and said, "Hey, listen, I got a couple contracts, you know, that they want to come up. Why don't we go look at them?" I said, "Okay." I've been in a plow truck, you know, probably 2-3 years prior to that, so I knew what was going on. I just never ran it. I was always the guy running around and getting told what to do and said, "Here, you know, drop the plow here, plow the snow." Okay. So we went around and we went and looked at these, and I was like, "Man, like these are pretty big sites for me and you." There was 3 or 4 sites, you know, there was a common area, which was a road, you know, it was pretty big area that, and I was like, dude, I'm like, we only have these 2 trucks. Like, what are we going to do? And he was like, well, there's stuff that we can do, but there's other stuff that I don't know if you're going to be too keen on it or anything like that. And I'm like, wow, well, what do you mean about that? And he's like, well, we got the dump truck that needs a trans. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, I don't know if you want to do that, but you know, he knew about my mechanical background. I've been a mechanic since I was 13 with my dad. So it was more or less, he was like, yo, he's like, I know you know how to do it. Just let's do it. Let's just get through it. I'm like, well, dude, we really don't have money to do it. Like we're going to be putting money out of pocket for it. And he's like, dude, trust me. Like, put the money out of pocket. We'll get paid back for it. And it'll help us in the long run. So, okay. So we put the money out for it. We pulled the trans out, rebuilt the trans and everything, and got it all back together. And turns out, you know, it needed an oil pan and all this, that, the third. So we're like, dude, we need more money. And then finally it snowed. And we got through it. We're like, wow, like, I can't believe we did this. Like, imagine if we've had 2-3 more trucks out here. Instead of being out here for the 24, 36 hours that we were out here, imagine if we could be out of here in 12 hours, you know, when we're asleep.
Wow.
We're asleep in 12 hours. Someone else is still plowing. I'm like, yeah, man. And then that's when we really went to it. We put a plow in my dad's truck, and we got another truck. We got the other truck back up and running, and we just went full bore with it. Got a couple more subs, and got our skid steer, and then our, you know, of course, skid steer hasn't been put through that much strain in a while, and, you know, that broke. So, you know, there was quite a few times that it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were like, really, like, our skid steer operator's like, dude, like, I don't know what happened. It's making a weird noise. And me being the mechanic of the company, I was the one that was out there, you know, trying to fix it, trying to get it back up and running. There was quite a few times where, you know, I didn't think we could get it back up and running and everything, but we did, and we got through them storms, and we made out, and now we're trying to triple our size of what we did last year. Now that we understand exactly what went through it and how it's so.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm just enjoying hearing you guys like talk. Like it's motivating, you know, for sure. You know, and sometimes maybe you guys listening in, like, you know, let's just be real. Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew, or you know, sometimes we just get put in these direct pressure kind of situations. Like we say yes to something, and then we're like, oh crap, what did I just agree to, right? And I'm not saying that's not necessarily the right way to grow your business. Although that's not bad either, because I can totally relate with what you guys are saying about biting off a big contract more than maybe you can chew, or trying to figure it out along the way. One of my HOAs that we do, it's an Anchor account. I show it on YouTube, but I don't show it a lot on YouTube because it's an Anchor account. It's my biggest account. It's worth like 25, 30 grand a year for us. And back then, dude, that was like, a third or half of like what my revenue was when I had just accepted that thing on. So like I had a $60,000, $70,000 a year business back in like 2015, 16. And it's crazy, like just to see how quick my company's growing, how quickly you guys' companies are growing, right? Well, the HOA approached me, and when we took on the account, it was like 18 to 20. It was not what it is today because we've had to add to it and grow it. But short story long, right? There's like nine different categories of work that's got to get done, from plantings and prunings, from flowers to fert to irrigation, to the mowing. And I was only doing 2 or 3 different things on that list. But I'm like, hey, this could like change my business, and it's in my backyard. I want to get this account. I'm hungry for it. So I just threw caution to the wind, bid it. And I said, I'll figure it out along the way. And I'll tell you what, that sounds like bravado. It sounds like very exciting. It sounds very, this like masculine, like, Herculean thing to say. But I was freaked out. I was petrified. I was scared. I'm going to YouTube every night, punching stuff in, like how to plant flowers, how to do irrigation, like crazy stuff. And that's why I made a lot of these videos along the way. This was in like 2017 and 18 on YouTube. I put a bunch of these how-to videos out there because I was literally had learned how to do it. And I was like, hey, I wasn't coming authoritatively. I was just saying, hey, I just did this. Here's how you do a sprinkler box rewire. Here's how you set a sprinkler box or irrigation control system, I should say. And so I would make those videos and put them out there. And they're like classics, man. They're just like 6-minute little how-tos that I had just learned the week before. And I wasn't trying to be the guru, but I'm like, hey, if I'm dealing with this stuff and I'm freaking out, I'm sure somebody else just took on a contract and they're like, hey, I don't even know how to start up a sprinkler system, But you know what? We learned. I was madly uncomfortable. Every day I'm putting out a fire. Every day we're trying to learn stuff. Every day, like you guys were saying, we're wrenching on something and something's breaking down, or I got a spreader and the spreader breaks and I'm like, I don't know how to fix a spreader. What do we got? YouTube. So we go to YouTube and we've learned this kind of stuff. So you guys are very fortunate, and I'm sure you know this, to have all this kind of content and social media out there. And then, Colin, you had your dad. Tell me a little bit more about your father. Like, has he been, you said, in the industry for quite a while, and you got to wrench and learn on all of his stuff as well?
Yeah. So he probably started when he was 16. He told me doing this. He started in the plow truck, playing pavers and just doing that whole deal. And so when I was growing up, he was never around. He was working for somebody he was a slave to the grind. Like, he was running company for people and he was working 120 hours a week for somebody else.
Wow.
And he was running the whole company, to the point where, like, the last company he worked at before he went for himself, he literally ran the entire company. The owners weren't even in town for most of the year. Wow. Like, he would handle all the payroll, all the equipment, all the purchasing of equipment, all the customer relations, everything. And he missed me and I have a younger sister. He missed me and my sister growing up, and he had enough of it. And he said, well, there's no reason I can't do this. I'm the one running this company already. Why can't I do this for myself?
Sure.
And he made the jump and did what he did. And there was a lot of the times that me and Josh are now facing full time. We're fortunate enough we were walked into a lot of contracts that set us up for, like, to be a little bit more comfortable than a lot of people starting out. But, like, I've seen the pains of my dad learning all that stuff. Like, like, he had a mortgage, a truck payment, a car payment, kids, everything. Like, and he just went for it. And it was just something that I liked. I always enjoyed doing that kind of work. It was like the highlight of my summer was going to work every day. I mean, like, working with your family is definitely not easy, but it was like, it definitely gave us a different bond that, like, me and my dad have now with, like, the whole work aspect. We definitely have a different relationship because, like, he knows without a doubt that if I tell him I'm doing something, it's going to get done because he is the one who taught me how to do it.
Right. That's awesome. He's
pretty confident in everything that me and Josh are doing because he knows that I'm teaching Josh how to do the stuff as the same way that he taught me. So he's very, very confident. He's there and he's around if we really need him to. He would come out and do whatever we need him to, but he might bring an active role back into it a little bit more as we grow, and we can bring him back with us. He might come back into an active role because he's a very good salesman. So, like, that's what I told Josh. Like, right now we're still learning the aspects of selling jobs and getting to work, and we're doing pretty good. I mean, we're beyond busy this year, and I'm like, if we can get to work and get the customers to be able to bring him back into it, the sales will go through the roof. Right. We'll have way more work than we even do now.
Nice. That's awesome.
What we're really working now.
That's
is,
awesome.
getting back into it as more of a sales role and like just heading the operation, making sure everything's situated and taking a little bit of responsibility off our plates, order materials, all that fun stuff.
Nice. Hey, what else do you guys listen to or watch on, like, whether it's Instagram or YouTube? Do you guys watch like Caleb Allman, or do you guys watch anybody? Like, what's some of your guys' go-to stuff? You guys are 20, 21, 22, just hungry. You're all over it right now. Just put in 100 hours a week. I've been there. I'm still doing that, man. At 34, it's crazy. People think I don't work, but man, I work business A like 50, 60 hours a week. Business B, my YouTube stuff, like 30, 40 hours a week. It's insane. It never ends. I love it. Liz loves it. We're crazy. So what are you guys consuming right now, or what motivates you or fires you up?
So right now, like before all this, like during the winter last year, everything, we were watching you guys, Stanley Dirt Monkey, Caleb Allman, Keith, all them guys, the guys who are with you all the time. And now we're in the process of buying a new skid steer. So for the past couple of months, like the past month or so, we've been doing like ungodly amount of research and watching videos on the teams and everything like that.
Sure.
Trying to decide what was.
That's awesome. Have you guys followed like Andy Mulder, Josh Sutton, and Caleb Allman? Those guys are my go-tos right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, those guys are awesome, man. Well, hey, we could talk all day. There's a lot of stuff here. We'll have to get you guys back on the show. Maybe get like a 6-month update. Maybe catch up with you guys here in the fall. Let me 2 quick plugs here. If you guys are around, you guys are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You guys are only 8 hours away, 10 hours away from Michigan. It's not super crazy, but Launchpreneur Academy Live, that'll be coming down the pike. You guys got to make a trip out here to check out our live event that we do in November. It'll be on November 13th. So all of you guys that are listening in want to earmark the date. That's coming on Saturday. It's going to be epic. But are you guys, number 2, are you guys headed down to GIE Plus Expo this year, or have you guys heard about that or checking that out?
I've heard about it. Never been able to really make the trip. I'd love to.
Yeah.
But
well, GIE Plus Expo, a little plug for those guys. That's down in Louisville, Kentucky, October. I think it's like 20, 21, 22, whatever dates it is. It's that, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But you guys should make time. If you get, not only you guys, but all you guys listening in with, Josh and Colin, obviously, make the time to come on down to GIE Plus Expo. I think we have a 50% off code or whatever it is. I think it's promo code Brian. And register to go to the event. Make time. That's what I was going to tell everybody. Nobody ever has time. I don't have time to go there. I don't even have time to go to my own live event. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm busy, you're busy, we're all busy, but you have to take time to grow yourself professionally, professional development, or continuing education, we call it. Get around people, man. Network, hang out, relax a little bit. That's why we have these events, and they're a really, really good time. So, you guys have this great perspective about the business and the industry for sure, especially with your dad, kind of being the sage for you to learn the industry. But going into like GIE Plus Expo, you get such a huge macro perspective. You can really see how the green industry is, $100 billion industry or whatever it is, just by being at this like Super Bowl event. It's 40 acres outdoors, 1 million square feet or whatever it is indoors. Every company, every booth. It's crazy. So if you guys are down there, make sure you guys look for me while we're down there, because it's going to be a really, really good time. So I just wanted to plug that for you guys, because it's going to be just a really, really good time. And I'm really missing it since we didn't get to go last year, right? They canceled it because of, the Rona. So that was unfortunate, but I get it. So let me ask you guys this. Final question, a little sign off here. If, there's an old question you can ask, because every answer is different, right? What does success look like to you? And so let me guys ask you that with C&J Outdoor Services. You guys are, you guys are babes. You're 18, 24 months into this thing. You guys are excited about just growing, hustling. What does success look like to you? Like if C&J Outdoor Services was a finished product, and somebody's some investment banker, right, was gonna write a check for 10, 20 million bucks for your company. What are you guys trying to get to? Is there a goal, or, we want to be this $5 million company, this $20 million company, or just a couple $100,000 a year coming in? What's the big elusive esoteric goal that you guys are trying to attain?
I'll let Josh go first, and then I'll go after that.
So basically what I see with our company is I want to be the biggest, I want to be the baddest, I want to be the biggest thing in our area.
Nice.
There's a couple companies out here in our area that I look at. I'm like, wow, man, like like that's just something we could do. Like, used to work for a company named Britain. They started out as a lawn and landscaping company, and now they're in the making mulch and doing land clearings and everything. They're multi-million-dollar companies.
Mm-hmm.
A company that's nothing to something huge, and that's just something that I've always wanted done, and that's where I try to go for. Every day that I go out and I get up early or do whatever I have to do that day, is I go out and I'm like, man, what is this going to be in 25 years? What is this going to be in 30 years? What is it going to be in 6 months, man? Like, it's just a whole change from when we went in from the winter of last year and then to now. We've grown substantially. It's insane on how fast we grew so quick, and it's just we're just trying to get out there and do as much as we can and take any job that we can. So I want to be the biggest, baddest company we have around here.
All right. And then, Colin, what do you guys think? Or what are you thinking, bud?
So, like, when we started last year, we didn't really have, like I said before, we ran hot. We didn't really have any goals and ideas. We were just like, we're going to make it through the year and not, like, completely implode or one of us going to...
Amen to that. That's awesome.
Like, make sure that we don't end up on the news because one of us is a murderer now. Like, so, it's so situated, like, we laid the groundwork last year, and, like, everything that we did last year is completely out the window. Nothing looks the same. We completely changed this spring. Like last year, we went out and like we cut with a utility, like a broken, beat up equipment trailer that was not meant for lawnmowers. And like we just do whatever we could to get done. Like we were like sitting there arguing with each other about buying a $300 weed whacker. Like we like wanted like to fight each other. Like it's like one of us didn't have the money, and I would tell him like, dude, we need. It doesn't matter if we don't have the money. We need this weed whacker. Like now. This year, we got into them snow contracts. We had a great year in the month in February. I mean, it snowed 5 times down here in 1 month. And we completely, I said to Josh, listen, like, we're going to get, number one, we're working as a subcontractor, so we're going to get slammed with a giant tax bill at the end of the year because of this. We need to rebrand and get everything to look the way it needs to look. Like, we bought trucks. We bought a 20-foot enclosed trailer for our grass cutting crew. Filled with mowers. We got on the Echo Fleet program, which I don't know if they offer that by you, but for us, if you spend $500, you get 16% off for the whole year on anything Echo.
Oh, nice.
So we got on the whole program, bought weed whackers, hedge trimmers, blowers, everything. The PAS system, everything. So like last year, we would have been like ruling at the mouth thinking about buying something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a brand new 20-foot enclosed trailer for our grass cut. We bought a brand new equipment trailer for our skid steer when we do hardscaping jobs. So like we're continuing to grow. Like now we have more of a vision, like, okay, this is where we're at now. We can move, like this is where we're going to go down the road. Like we were stuck with a conundrum in the springtime when we were like, last year we didn't do a lot of hardscaping jobs because it's very hard in our area to get into bigger hardscaping jobs with a very like new need. Like nobody trusts it because it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was like, but if we show up with some raggedy truck with all of our tools in the back of the truck, like I learned that from my dad, if we show up with like looking like a sleazeball, we're not going to get a lot of jobs, and they're going to see us and they're going to be like, yeah, this company does not look professional.
Right.
So they're like trying to, like, we already had a couple jobs sold from last year that carried over this year for hardscape. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, we need to get a closed trailer that's set up just for that. Like, this is what we need to do. And Josh was like very skeptical about it. Didn't want to spend the money. Like, it was like a lot of money, brand new. And I was like, we just got to do it. Like, if we can pull up to any job and have any tool that we need, and we don't have to run back to the house, like, imagine that. And we look professional. We can get them lettered, and like that was one thing that really helped us a lot. We got both trailers lettered. We got trucks lettered, everything like that, and we just blasted it in everybody's face that like this is the company coming up around here.
Man, that's
like, it's kind of like
that's awesome.
It's kind of like growing to get to the point where it's like my whole goal is to get to enough snow plowing that we're comfortable all year round, and we can do that grass cutting, do the paver jobs, do all that stuff, do the hardscaping. And enjoy our summertime work that we're not pressed to pay our bill this year because snow is a big industry around us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like we're not pressed to like, oh my God, if we don't get this one job that we're selling, we got to knock off $1,500 because somebody beat our bid because we're not going to pay our bills this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's snow plowing, and we have a really good relationship with the big outfit that we work for. We work for an outfit like Brickman or Brightview. Work for a big outfit that as a subcontractor for them. So we have a really good relationship. That's where all of our commercial landscaping contracts came from. And I mean, it's catapulted us into like a whole different dimension of like income that we didn't last year. We didn't even think we would be years before we got to that.
That's
and
awesome.
We're at this point, like we're kind of on like, you know, not on cruise control, but we're kind of at the point right now where if we did not do any other work besides grass cutting, we'd be perfectly fine to go into the winter.
That's awesome, man. Well, good for you guys. I'm excited about just seeing the transformation, you know, in 12, 18 months. I tell people, you know what is really, really hard to do. And I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're Gary Vee and you got D-Rock behind the scenes, right? Shooting video and all day about what you guys are doing. The bottom line is, you know, somebody's got to put in 50, 70, 100-hour weeks for a year or two. Right. I mean, that's what I can just tell you guys are so excited because of all the different work that you guys are putting in behind the scenes. You got to get this ship off the ground, this rocket ship, right? And this airplane, whatever they call it. Everybody's got their cute analogy. You got to get this airplane off the ground, right? But once you get the altitude and you get rid of all the bull crap, it becomes a lot easier to run the company. And where a lot of people just, whether they just give up or it's tough or they just churn and burn, it's in that launch phase. And it's tough, dude. It's so tough. I mean, I can relate, man. Like I should have did that in 2 years. It took me a decade, and I just was spinning my wheels. And you know, I'm just really excited about hearing you guys' story. You guys have it going on, and you know, without sounding like a parent, you know, just make sure you guys keep listening to each other. You know, listen to what each other has to say. I'm sure you guys balance each other out in certain aspects. And then here's a tip: if you both don't know, like Colin, you were saying, go ask your dad, you know, something like that, get his perspective and even, you know, reach out to somebody like a Corey Ballard, like shoot him a message. I'm sure he'd say, yeah, you know, if he says I got 10 minutes, you know, Thursday night at 5, you know, that's all you get. Hey, that's all you get, but take it. I mean, Corey, you know, doesn't do any consulting or coaching right now, but, you know, pick the brain of those kind of folks. Go to a GIE Plus Expo. You know, a little teaser here. Corey's going to be up here at Launchpreneur Academy Live. So he's going to be back here as a speaker, which is going to be just incredible. I think he was getting a little nervous when I told him there's going to be about 300 to 500 people here this year. And he was like, 500 people? I said, yeah. And he goes, I don't know about that. I said, you run a $20 million company. And he goes, you know, that's one thing, man. He goes, I work in 2s and 5s. So I don't know about 500. So if anything, you guys got to come just to see Chuckles, you know, be a little bit nervous in front of 500 people, you know, but I'm just having some fun. Last year we had to take, Colin and Josh, we had to take our live event. It was 300 people there. We had to break it up into 5 rooms of about 50 or 60 because of like these coronavirus rules and all this other mess that my state was doing at the time. But that stuff is done. So we're coming back together. It's going to be 300 to 500 people. Hopefully it's a super spreader event. I can't wait. And I'm just having fun. We're going to super spread positivity, success, and great thought process out there in the community. So we're really looking forward to that. But we'll button up right here. This was really fun. You never know what you're going to get when sometimes you got younger guys on the show, but you guys are just on it. I can tell. And I hope to bump into you guys one day, whether it's at Expo or at our live event. So keep the hammer down. But any quick last words? If not, we'll button this thing up.
The only thing I was wanting to say is like something I talked to you when we first started talking about coming on this podcast. Like anybody who's listening about like, you know, we kind of broke through this spring, like we've seen the breakthrough, and that didn't come at a cost. I mean, like I lost my job that I was working at in the middle of January, and it kind of was just like that weird time where like nobody's looking for workers in what we do in January. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't going to job. So it's kind of like Josh is still working. I was like, listen, I'm going to take this snow on straight on, like, and that's going to be my job for the next 2 months. And then we had both talked about leaving our jobs and going full time in the spring, and we were throwing the idea around. I'm like, either way, I'm there in the spring. Whether you're still at work and I got to find work for you, like I spent countless hours. I mean, we spent in February we had 5 snowstorms. I think I totaled out to almost 300 and some hours doing snow in 1 month. So I mean, it doesn't come at a cost. It doesn't come for free at all. Like for all the, like people gonna put in the hours, and if you can do it, I'd say sky's the limit. I mean, that's what I said to Josh. I'm like, dude, it's like, he's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, well, you know, we have a bigger picture here. Like, I'm like, I know you're counting on me this spring to get you out of your job and go to work for yourself. Like, I know that the guys that are going to come work for us and do stuff in the summer, that we have friends that are in college that are working for us now. Like, we know they're going to be counting on us to have work in the summer. Like, we got it. The 300 hours in February is nothing to like when we're giving our guys our checks at the end of the week and they're going out and having a great weekend because they have money because they're not sitting at home doing nothing. Amen. That's awesome, man. All right, guys. Well, where else can they find you, by the way? Are you guys on Instagram or Facebook? You guys can you plug anything if you want people to catch up with you? We're on Instagram at I don't even know what that is. Let me find it real quick.
I think C&J.
C&J _outdoor _services _LLC.
All right. So C&J _ outdoor _ services _ LLC. They got one photo. You guys got one photo. Come on, son. We gotta. These are rookie numbers. We got to pump that up. You know. So.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about, and we're really trying to blast, that kind of stuff. So it's more or less I'm trying to take over that role and blast that. Get that all up there this year, just so everyone can see who we are, because there's been countless people that that message us to be like, wow, like we like your story, like we like seeing what you guys do, because we also have a Facebook page. I forget what our Facebook page is called, but I found with the friends and family, they're like, wow, like we'd love seeing the stuff that you guys do, like so that's more or less what we're trying to focus on right now, is getting that up and running.
I love it. Awesome, man. Well, we'll keep you accountable, man. 6 months when we have our follow-up interview, you better have 100 posts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just having fun, by the way. So that's awesome. So, well, hey, you guys are from Levittown, Pennsylvania. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Josh and Colin from Levittown, Pennsylvania over here on the podcast. And again, really appreciate you guys taking time out of your, we're doing this actually first thing Sunday morning. This is like my casual time, my hangout time. I took my dog to Tim Hortons with me. I got my coffee in front of us, and still working on that Tim Hortons sponsorship. You know what I'm saying, guys? So one day we'll make it big time, But until then, we really appreciate all you guys listening in. We just hope to give you some motivation, some encouragement to, your work week and whatever you guys are tackling today. If you guys are out there, slaying it with mowing or doing landscaping, hopefully these podcasts keep you guys pumped up. And again, imagine if you're a coal in a fire, right? If you're a coal in a fire, you got to stick around the fire. If you take a coal out of the fire, coal's going to cool off, but you got to get that coal back into the fire and it'll warm right back up. Sometimes we don't want to listen to the podcast. Sometimes we want to just go listen to music and rot our brain. But I'll tell you what, make sure you come back at least once a day, hear my podcast, hear Paul's podcast. We'll fire you back up and make sure that you guys are motivated out there to, go tackle it for you, go tackle it for your family, and leave that legacy that we're all trying to create. So Josh, Colin, appreciate you guys big time. We'll look forward to catching up with you guys here soon. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll kick it back over to Marty in the ATL. And guys, thanks again for listening to this episode of Fullerton Unfiltered. Don't forget to leave those all-important ratings and reviews. I know Marty always gets to read those here once a week or so. And again, thank you for supporting the show's sponsors. And let's kick it back over to Marty.
Thank you, Brian. Our goal here at Fullerton Unfiltered is to get to 1,000 reviews by the end of the summer. And that, my friend, is doable if you'll just put down the Slim Jim and the Mountain Dew for a minute and slide over to Apple Podcast and help your boy Brian out. Another way to support the show is to visit LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com and see if there might be some training programs that would be of benefit to you and or your crew. And don't forget about those postcard designs and templates there at the website as well. As a veteran marketer, I can just tell you from experience that when business begins to slow down, you can often trace it just to poor prospecting over the last 60 to 90 days. So keep your pipeline. Listen to me, this is good. Keep your pipeline of potential new customers full with these eye-catching and proven-to-work designs. Now, before we make like a baby and head out, let's hear once again from our valued show partner and sponsor.
Are you a landscape contractor? Handle all your to-dos in seconds with SiteOne.com. Now you can place orders from anywhere, available for pickup or delivery. Access personalized pricing and check the inventory at your local SiteOne branch anytime. With tools like these always at your fingertips, getting more out of every workday is as simple as click, click, done. Get your account today at SiteOne.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.